Now we're going to make Qui Gon's handle pattern here on your 1¼ PVC pipe. What you want to do is find the absolute maximum diameter of your PVC pipe and then mark them here according to the sides here. You may not get it right, so just practice and try. And once you find the widest points on here, go to the adjacent side and make another mark here as shown. Now this piece here, if I was to give a measurement, it would be about, let's say 1 7/32 from either this side or this side right down to this middle piece here. So once you got these pieces, your areas here marked out, go to a door jamb or a piece of molding, take your marker, and right on the wall here, take your 1¼ PVC pipe, line it up, take your marker, make sure everything is straight, and then and here we have our markings for the 1¼ PVC pipe. To make our segments, it's going to be an arrangement of measurements here. Now these lines that you marked here are going to be used for our measurements. You notice here that I have the side here, this is my top, and this is my other side here. So what we're going to do to make the grip pattern measurements first is let's start off with one of the sides, and from the back of your 1¼ PVC pipe, you're going to make a measurement here. If your PVC pipe is not entirely flat here, or if it's smooth or anything, take your 1-inch bell, 5-inch disc sander or equivalent, and make sure that it is sanded down flat. So with the measurements here, here's what we're going to do. On one of the side ones here, take your ruler and measure up 7/8 of an inch from the back, like so. Okay. On the top here, this will be 15/16 on the top. Measure that out. And on the other side, this one will be 7/8 of an inch. Now what these measurements are going to start preparing us for is for the grip pattern placement, which will have to get cut out on this PVC pipe. So as we start here on one side, we said that this was 7/8, and from the 7/8 mark we will go up approximately 3/16 of an inch, like so. And then after this 3/16 mark over here, you will mark a 1/8 inch mark is here as well. The area where you marked at 3/16 of an inch, just put an X right there, and then continue on with another 3/16 and then another 1/8 inch mark. Now what I do is I start marking out X's on here that these will be my areas to cut out. Now I want to take some time here to draw these out to show you what the finished marking of the grip pattern placement here on Qui Gon Lightsaber is going to look like. So give me a few minutes. Okay, about 10-15 minutes went by, and I have my markings here on my PVC pipe for the grip pattern on Qui Gon Saber. Now you can see here all my markings, and these are approximate locations where I'm going to make my cuts. Each of these X's here, you'll need about 13 of them to go right up the PVC pipe. So you need a total of 13 3/16 marks on here with 1/8 inch gaps in between. So let's go make these cuts now. To make the grip pattern here for our Qui Gon handle in our PVC pipe, we're going to use a 10-inch table saw here. Now this here's a 10-inch table saw with a steel blade with 180 teeth on here. It's good for cutting plastics, plywood, veneer, whatever you need for fine cutting.
And the height of the blade here is approximately about 7/8 of an inch, or about half the diameter of your PVC pipe. Now, the degree it's set at right now is at 5 degrees. So this will give us that slight forward angle that we need in our Qui Gon grip pattern. Now, safety is very important here. Make sure that it is unplugged, that you do use hearing protection, and that you do use eye protection. It's also very important to know that you are working around an open blade, so be very cautious, take your time with this, do not rush it. If you lose your finger, you may not get it back. So take your time when you are cutting your PVC pipe with an open blade table saw. Now, to make our grips, our X's here where we have them marked are going to be the locations where our cuts are going to be. Now, all these were approximate from what I mentioned earlier. So we're going to have it with our top side facing down, and it's all going to have to be done by eye. Try and make sure that it is level, or make a mark on your guide over here with your line. You can see on the blade here where I'm going to make my first cut on this X that this bottom section where the blade meets the table saw is going to meet up right where this mark is, and this top of the blade here is going to meet over on the other side where this X is. Now, this blade will not cut the whole width of the 3/16 area that I marked here with the X. You will have to do multiple swipes. Remember, safety first. Okay, now we have our rib pattern here cut for our Qui Gon handle. And as you can see, once you slip it in, your handle, this is what the pattern will mainly look like. Now, I spent a careful amount of time actually cutting my my grip pattern here, so it was definitely worth the effort. You also may notice on here that my cuts are not even lined up with my markings here. Well, my pipe was not aligned right, so I had to compensate for my misjudgment. So, as you can probably see, I have some PVC all over my face, so that's why it's always good to wear the glasses. So, it wasn't worth the effort. I say it was. Even though that my cuts are not on the mark, the handle will cover up that compensation, so it'll look nice and even when it's finished.